This is a quick history on Iceland. The year is 870 AD, and a small fleet of Nordic Viking ships land on the coast of Iceland. The fleet was led by Ingolfur Arnarsson, and it was carrying Vikings from Norway, along with some Irish slaves. They got off the ship and founded their first settlement, Reykjavik. A couple years later, more Vikings wanted Iceland, so they all kind of made their own settlements, but Reykjavik was still the largest and most powerful on the island. Throughout the next century, Viking clans would fight all the time on the island, and Icelandic people kind of had this stereotype as being savage animals. But in their defense, what Vikings weren't savage animals. Around 1000 AD, the island converted to Christianity. And even though the Viking clans in Iceland were now holy, that did not stop them from killing each other. After years of fighting, the Norwegian Vikings took the whole island, and it became part of Norway in 1262. Around 150 years later, most of the Scandinavian countries joined each other and made the Kalmar Union. They went under the Danish crown. And one of these countries that joined was Norway and all its territories. So obviously, mainland Norway, Greenland, Iceland, and the Faroe Islands. At this time, Iceland was a terrible place to live. Although there was peace on the island, volcanoes were going off left and right, which killed people and destroyed businesses and homes. Also, the island was extremely isolated, being over 1,000 miles or 2,000 kilometers from Norway. So to get from Iceland to Norway, or vice versa, you would have to sail for 2 weeks, and also the people of Iceland were way too poor to even think about buying a boat. There wasn't much trade there because every time someone started a business, a volcano would just erupt and ruin it, and the entire island was extremely isolated and starving. Oh, and in 1402, the Black Death reached Iceland. Most people think it was brought from a Norwegian ship that went there. Like, they did not get traded with very often because of its geographical location. But then a ship came and brought them the worst plague in human history, bro. The Black Plague wiped out 40 to 60% of the entire island. This is the worst time in Iceland's history. The people were starving, poor, and freezing to death. And then on top of that, a plague wiped out half their population. However, things did get better for Iceland. In 1495, the plague ended, and going into the 1500s, more people started to trade with Iceland, including England, Germany, and the Netherlands. Even though a lot of this trading was illegal, it still improved the small island's economy by a lot. In 1918, Iceland became a self-governing kingdom under the Danish crown, which means it could make its own laws and trade with whoever it wanted. However, it was still part of Denmark. In 1944, Iceland became an independent republic, and it's been that way ever since. Today, Iceland is known for its hot springs, volcanoes, waterfalls, and just its overall nature. And Iceland is split on two tectonic plates, which gives it like this cool canyon thing. The biggest and most influential city is Reykjavik, with a population of 140,000 people, which is 64% of Iceland's population. I have more content coming soon, so if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe.